Hello everyone and welcome to Quality Old Games. Today we're having part 3 of our Auxilia only campaign, and I think we should be able to achieve short victory rather easily by capturing Conde Tredonum and was it Numantum? Numantia here. So without further ado, let's continue, but I don't think that I'm going to finish the campaign at that victory, because it would be really nice to try how well those Auxilia units actually could fare against proper Roman legionaries, so we are going to take the game a bit further there until the Civil War. And I'm just wondering, do I have every place constructing something? It actually can construct something. Oh, and let's retrain these and train some more of them. Okay, I think we have a turn. And we have some last-ditch effort from the Gauls to stop us. Well, they don't actually have a general, but those skirmishers, chosen swords, might be difficult. But I think we should be able to out-micro them rather easily. Especially if we can actually force them to change their orientation towards us, we should be able to get some free shots on their backs. Especially important against those chosen swords. Let's see if we move here. Will that cause another? Yeah. So that unit is going to be broken rather soon. Let's focus on... Perhaps we should attack, actually. This unit looks rather vulnerable here. Yeah. And of course, it's not very wise from these guys to move against us here. Let's bring the general a bit closer. Okay, and they are breaking. That's a bit of waste of javelins there. Okay, and the general is moving to face ours. So I think we should try to help them. Let's at least send those guys to help there. Okay, we have actually them routing, so... That noble cavalry is actually doing, or was doing rather well.
Now he flees the field like a coward.
Okay, and let's try to make sure that the general stays alive. We have some... Let's flee in there. Well, not perhaps as clean a victory as possible, but... Well, relatively nice, nonetheless. And yeah, I think that was rather a last-ditch effort from them to be able to achieve something against us. Oh, we could get some Roman archers. A really nice unit in my opinion, but... Well, we cannot use them now. For that reason as well, Archer Auxilia would be rather nice to have. It seems, actually, Numidians are besieging Carthage. And it seems the Britons are advancing at the expense of Germanians. Well, perhaps we can raise taxes a bit. Well, that didn't go exactly according to the plan.
Yes, master. Watching and waiting.
General, engage the enemy. Besieging settlements.
Okay, so 6 turns until victory. Most likely.
Onward.
I think we should begin to move the peasants after several turns. Okay. So. Votiporics. I think we will try to take down those reinforcements. First they are coming from the right. Oh. Not really nice weather to fight the Gauls.
The enemy have brought up more men.
And I think we should strike right away so that the initial enemy army cannot come to face us.
The enemy show their true virtue. They are not soldiers,
Oh,
only frightened
that's
rabbits
a
running
bit
from our
disappointing because now we were unable to capture the settlement. Well, I guess we have to entertain ourselves by trying to wipe out that attacking army there. And what's that? Another cavalry unit. Okay, it's out of the play. Let's try to weaken their flank. Whoops. Okay.
The enemy general flees! Press forward so the spirit of his army is broken too! Show their true virtue. They are not soldiers, only frightened rabbits running from our men.
Okay, let's see how many of them will get away. Well, at least this was by far the messiest battle in this episode. At least this far. Well, yeah, heroic and heroic. And even the enemy general got away. I think next turn we will begin moving those peasants towards Ariminum. I've always wondered, oh, that's by the way really cheap construction costs. I think we should actually put the queue to full, but I've always wondered how little increase the advanced forums or marketplaces actually bring. To the income of the settlement. So here this costs, it's discounted, the basic cost is 2400, but here in Arretium the basic cost is only about half. Well, now I have to click this again, but
Imperator! Sir! Sir! Imperator! Move out! Moves completed! Sir! General! Onward!
Okay. So, another relief attempt. But I think in this time we will strike at the initial army first. Because, well, I don't really need to hit those reinforcements, because the city will fall. And of course, hitting these guys now will mean that the enemy
The army is in flight.
is not
Pursue
likely to
them
get
and
away.
Drive them from the battlefield.
I guess I take most of my casualties from friendly fire here. Okay, we are getting quite a nice amount of offices. 5,000 more population. And we can begin the construction of Imperial Palace. I think it pays off to prepare for battle in Northern Europe. Still. Let's see if we could get a man of hour. Okay, nice. So we can get a new army for him from Alicia. I think we are going to strike against the Britons next. So basically we are going to need about 20 units of peasants, well 21 to be exact, to grow the settlement. I think this actually will be enough. Okay, there we go. Nice. 6 turns and we are entering the Imperial Age. Perhaps Batavium actually could resume training the troops there. Okay. Greek city is wiped out. Oh, and I think, yeah, this guy will be the new general. And we will come bearing gifts of troops to be retrained. Okay, so I have to say that winning the campaign with Auxilia only was surprisingly easy, even on very hard difficulty. So this is only the short victory, so let's see if we could achieve the long one. And there are some issues with public order apparently. Okay, so
Imperator, orders, onward! Onward! Orders, General. Orders, sir, march! Orders, onward!
we have one army ready, and perhaps 2 armies should be enough. And actually, I think we could bring 1 army to strike from south. That should work quite nicely. We cannot have them being the richest faction.
Imperator!
I don't actually see any reason why not to go straight away.
Imperator, orders, prepare for battle!
And let's hope we can get a mana for our... Because it would be nice to have a proper general for this army as well.
Units, await my order! Cavalry! Units! Double time!
So warbands, naked fanatics, and barbarian cavalry.
Units, move!
Nothing too great. Okay, I guess we are good to go.
Missile! Quick! Fire!
The gods who fill the heart of
Okay, well, that was rather nice. And this is nicer still. Good.
Sir! March! Moves depleted, sir! Enable troops!
And I think we are rather soon at war with Spain. Of course, that would be okay, because we can then secure our western flank. I think Oscar will make a fine next target when they do attack. And before declaring war on the Britons, let's bring the armies in position. So it's likely that Alicia will come under attack from... okay, perhaps not. I think we should actually send out another army.
Onward! Sir! March!
So we could get 3 settlements at once, at least besieged. Okay, And we have the Marian Reforms. I don't really want that population growth bonus anymore, so let's switch to Jupiter. And yeah. And actually we don't... Oh, we can train Auxilia, yeah. So I think we have had enough of those. Cavalry Auxilia, it's time to begin to train some other units. And what about Numancia? Yeah, I guess Auxilia it is.
Your Honor, searching for...
Orders! Engage the enemy! Besieging settlement, sir! Settlement under siege, sir! Darrow, prepare for battle! Besieging
So,
settlement,
the nations are not actually supporting our
attack! Besieging
aggression,
settlement, sir.
apparently.
Settlement under siege, sir!
Well, too bad. Yeah, I guess we can wait for a while for Batavium to grow. That was rather desperate. Slingers and faction leader. Okay, so I think we will try to take down those slingers first. That faction leader might be a bit difficult because he has cavalry, or rather chariots. So let's try not to shoot ourselves while taking down the slingers
The enemy have
and
brought out
conserve
more
the
men.
javelins against the faction leader.
The gods be praised! The enemy general is slain, and now his men fear us. It is time to press the attack!
Okay, and not looking good.
It would be better for your general to fall on his sword than live another
Indeed.
day. He is running away! Dead because of
Oh,
his
the general
foolishness.
actually has
His men will lose heart.
scythes in the chariot. Well, good for him. And of course, that's rather experienced. This unit might actually be in trouble.
Fight forward! Quickly!
Okay. Yeah. We're able to do some damage, but this seems to be rather difficult. Fortunately, that general unit there does not have any missile weapon of its own. Oh. It will be interesting to see if we can actually win this at all. Okay, let's try. Okay.
Leaving the army! Hold back! Break up the siege! Move depleted, sir!
Well, this should at least be a bit easier. I think we will try to smash those initial enemy forces first. Let's practically make 2 groups of these units and then just, or actually, since they are kind of in a line, or rather in a row, or whatever, we just smash through.
The gods be praised! The enemy's hearts... Great gods be praised! The enemy general is killed! Fear makes a home in our enemy's hearts!
And of course this is rather nice that they are sallying forth, because now we have the possibility of getting the settlement rather faster than otherwise would be the case. These are not as experienced as the faction leaders' cavalry, or rather bodyguard, and additionally there are fewer of them. Then again, the skirmish mode of these guys is not functioning as optimally as it could be. If I reflect on the last battle, which ended up in our defeat, I think it might have been better if I had ordered my troops to stand still. Yeah, okay, good. So then those chariots could not have inflicted that many casualties. Quite a bit of friendly fire, but victory nonetheless.
Victory! Victory!
And people at Samaropriva are not happy about Roman rule, it seems. And well, I think we will convert them to proper Romans, believing in Jupiter. And I guess those guys deserve a new chance there. Especially with that Archer Auxilia support. So we can begin to raise a new army. And once again, I'm not sure about that Temple of Ceres. or Keres, however it's pronounced. And I think it's time to get this army moving once again. Oh, apparently that Marcus Julius is not that popular.
Sir! Attack! Move depleted, sir! Sir! Imperator! Attack! Moves depleted, sir!
We lose a bit of mobility with that Archer Auxilia, but I think they should be able to perform rather well in the battle. Okay, so that's one of their main armies. Watercorix. I think it's actually coming behind them, so it might be the best course of action to actually fire the missiles and pull back, as I have such a good track record of doing exactly that in battles. But in any case, let's keep the general back, skirmish mode on for the time being. And let's see, would we actually... Yeah, here I'm firing the missiles and keeping back. And to that most obviously belongs a direct charge against chariots. No doubt about that. That warlord is actually taking quite a beating. Surprising, actually. So we have the reinforcements coming from that direction. Okay, let's try to rout.
Fear makes a home in our enemies' hearts.
So, as you can see, here was a pure example of how to stay back and only use the missiles. Okay, so apparently they don't want to fight. Let's see if our cavalry can deal with the general. I think it actually can.
The enemy general flees! Press forward so the spirit of his army is broken too! The enemy show their true virtue. They are not soldiers, only frightened rabbits running from our men.
So, we still have some chariots here. Which we apparently have to chase.
enemy.
Okay. Well then not.
The gods have favored you. The enemy are destroyed.
Okay, well. As I said, rather nice keeping back and only firing the missiles. It's actually nice that we could improve roads here. I was wondering that we have an admiral. Alicia. Oh, and now we actually can use those battering rams. That's nice. I guess these guys will attack us when we besiege the settlement here. So, clearly an extra benefit of having actual infantry with the army. Oh. Well, that's nice. I think we will try to take this Conan the Barbarian out first. I'm not exactly sure if the AI knows to leverage the winter, because barbarian units should get a bonus fighting in winter. So winter is coming and they most definitely seem to be taking advantage of it. Are we actually doing any damage there? Well, I hope so. Because I think it's about time to start hitting the enemy. We want to deal with them before the reinforcements do arrive. Oh, not good.
The enemy general is slain, and now his men fear us. It is time to press the attack. The enemy show their true virtue. They are not soldiers, only frightened rabbits running from our men.
Almost a mistake.
The enemy show their true virtue. They are not soldiers, only gods
excellent.
Be praised. The enemy general is killed. Fear makes a home in our enemies' hearts.
And here we go again.
The god. Wrong.
Okay, victory. Yeah, and we get the settlement as well. And I think we should have broken the Briton strength At least mostly. In this region. And we can begin to train some light auxilia in Ariminum.
Imperator, prepare for battle!
I think this battle should be relatively easy. And of course now we should begin to gather strength for the invasion of the British Isles.
Our soldiers are at the gates! Now they must batter a way through! The enemy gate is down! Our battering ram has done its work! Our soldiers have captured the walls! Now is the time to press on and capture this place!
And let's strike with these guys if we need to. I guess we need to.
The enemy general is slain, and now his men fit. This is...
Well, a victory is always a victory. Only villages. Actually, I think we should not keep training all the units we can, because we need to send some of these back to be retrained. And especially from here. Oh, that unit needs some retraining as well. Oh, and we don't actually have any ports in here. That's going to be problematic, at least at some point. Yeah, I think we should switch to Jupiter. And unfortunately, we need to have some... Okay, that actually went surprisingly well. I was a bit worried that we might actually end up losing the battle there. But apparently the settlement was rather nice catch. Good. And we don't have any infantry there. I guess that's army enough to march onwards. And we have a turn. Oh. Well, that's going to be a tough battle. So actually I want to take down the faction leader, even if we lose the battle, but are able to take down the faction leader. That will be really nice. So basically in our back and bit to left. And that's golden chevron chariots with what, 9 stars, 5 hit points with 8 defense. Well, this is at least going to be interesting. So, in our back and bit to the left. So, I guess from there. Of course, we could try to verify it, where the enemy settlement is. It might be there. So, let's put the troops here. Not in skirmish mode. Okay.
The enemy here.
Well, perhaps using pause is not showing good sportsmanship here. But yeah. Those chariots are clearly the primary target. Okay, they are starting to fall. The only question is, where is the faction leader there? And of course, since he's so experienced, I doubt he will try to get away from the battle. Okay, good.
The king has been slaughtered. Let us hope he does not poison the carrion birds.
Let's choose the impatient way.
General flees! Press forward so the spirit of his army is broken too!
Oh, and the most of the units are not actually wishing to pursue. And these guys are actually fighting surprisingly aggressively.
The enemy army is in flight! Pursue them and drive them from the battlefield!
Well, I think we have the city and we killed the enemy faction leader, both of which are quite nice. It would have been nicer still to take down the other enemy general as well, but I guess we have to take what we can get. was decent enough spy. Okay, good. We can wait one turn and then I think we will continue. And my guess is that... Well, actually, he's not actually worsening the public order there. Let's try to catch him. And since it's we that are attacking, we should be able to hit them rather nicely. Well, that was nice. Some friendly fire, but I guess that's acceptable. Borders Holm, I think that will make a fine next target. While this army pushes towards Dam.
Engage the enemy. Orders, General, prepare for battle. Sir, move out, sir.
Yeah, we are running a bit low on population. Actually, I think we could bring those guys to Oska to reinforce it.
Imperator.
This army marches north.
Completed, sir.
Do these guys have already legionaries? Apparently not. Well, it actually doesn't matter because... let's see. I guess Conde Tredonum. Yeah, that will be our best hope to get. Ships, of course, we could train some in Numancia, but... it's better to have the port right next to our... What? A Numidian army. They are quite far from home.
Imperator.
And more British troops, or Britons troops.
Imperator. Forward! No more moves, sir! Imperator. Orders. Onward! Moves depleted, sir! General, prepare for battle. Besieging settlement, sir. Settlement under siege, sir. Orders. Prepare for battle. Sir! Forward! Sir! Sir!
So it seems we need to leave.
Onward!
some garrisoning troops there.
For battle. No more moves, sir.
But let's continue the push. And this army here, I'm not actually sure we need it in the northern front. Well, perhaps we will. Let's bring it there. So let's check the situation. We have 20 regions. I think we need to take about 20 more in order to trigger civil war. So from Britons we are going to get 6 regions, from Spain and the rest of Hispania 4. Then I guess we need to strike against Germanians, Dacians, perhaps Numidians, and that should do the trick. But yeah, this is everything for today. Thank you very much for watching. If you like the content, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Feel free to post comments, give advice, ask questions and so on. Have a great rest of the day. Quality Old Games out.